Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and today we're going to talk a little bit about appreciation and kind of what that is. I want to cover like levels of consciousness a little bit because that kind of comes into this. So for me, appreciation, a lot of people think it is of well, I first thought of it as a little bit like gratitude. Okay, so I want to be grateful for the things in my life, and yet, albeit that's true, appreciation is a little bit different. Um, a little bit different. Although there's I feel like there's some crossover. Maybe I'm getting it a little bit wrong. I don't know. But for me, appreciation is, if we're talking about the levels of consciousness, it's coming up to the level of love, okay, and or kind of the level of love. And again, gratitude is often described as at the level of love. And I see appreciation as at the level of love as well. So, which is again, in terms of levels of consciousness, that's high. That's really, really good. Okay, that's the kind of place where we want to spend as much time of our life as we can. So, I think it's probably easiest to talk of appreciation in terms of money, at least to begin with, so we can get the idea. So appreciation is used in investments. Okay, so if you ever speak to a financial advisor, or you know a little bit, you've read some stuff on how to manage money and how to invest a little bit, you might have heard of appreciation talked of in terms of money, and it is practically the same thing. I've drawn one diagram. I just realized I need a second diagram, but it looks very similar. So I'm going to draw a little diagram here. Okay, little kind of just a chart. Okay, so as you'd normally expect, and we're going to talk about savings. Okay, so let's say every month you save. Okay, you're not investing, but you're saving, let's say £50 a month, and over the course of years, let's say you got like a 1% interest. Okay, so it's not doing very much. Okay, you'd be lucky in banking to get 1% interest, although with current interest rates you might be doing better. Okay, and that line is just going to gradually go up through time. Okay, it's not really going to do very much. Appreciation would be not only saving £100 a month, it's saving it into a high interest investment account where instead of 1% or even 0%, you're getting 8%, 10%, 15%. And over the course of time, not only are you're going to go from £100 or whatever I said before, £50 a month, whatever it was. Let's say in year 2 you start doing £75 a month, and then in year 3 you're able to do £100 a month, and then year 4 you're able to do £125 a month, etc., etc., etc. So the amount you invest goes up, plus your interest rate is really high. So again, over the course of time, you start with the same amount, okay, and it looks very similar to begin with, but the trajectory of that curve goes up and up and up, and that's essentially what appreciation is. The money that you invest appreciates. Okay, depreciation is the opposite, is where the curve goes downwards. Okay, so you might start with the same amount, or you start below the line. And now that's where I want to go on to now. So when we have desires, okay, wants, and again, we'll start with money, but this could be any aspect of life, at all. Okay, but let's say it's money. Okay, and let's say you're earning, I don't know, £2,000 a month. Okay, but your desired earning level is £3,000 or £4,000 or £5,000 a month, or even more. Okay, doesn't really matter. So I've got kind of the opposite graph. So this is when I'm in appreciation, and this is essentially is when I'm in debt. So I would label this as debt. Okay, so anything below that flat line along here, you're in debt. Okay, so you might still be earning money. So in this case, let's say I'm going to start here, and that's 2,000. Okay, and up here, desired result, I'm going to put that as 5,000. Okay, so I've got a gap between here, my debt, and there. Okay, even though it's not like literally debt in this case, because you're still earning 2,000. Okay, so you're not necessarily in debt per se, but you're in debt compared to where you want to be. Okay, and let's say you're moving along, and that's fairly static. Okay, you get a pay increase, something happens, you know, an investment pays off, you jump up a little bit, maybe you're still in debt. Okay, but you're still in debt. Okay, and you're down here still, but you've had a, at this point here, you got a pay increase, it jumped up, bam. Okay, so what is in this gap? Now you might say the gap is £3,000. That's not necessarily what the gap is. Okay, albeit, you know, in kind of literal speaking, yes it is, but what is more likely is in the gap. Okay, so the gap is feelings. Okay, feelings lives in that gap. Okay, so it might be feelings of inadequacy, I'm not doing well enough, I'm a failure, fear of what might happen if you don't earn enough, losing your home, not having enough investments for your savings and retirement, not being able to give to your kids, not being able to go on nice holidays, not being able to buy the good quality food that you feel like you need for your health, or, you know, the supplements that you feel like you need, or the treatments that you feel like you need, or whatever it is for health or for whatever other reason. I can't go out to the theater, I can't go out to the cinema because I love going to the cinema, I can't go out and eat in nice restaurants, I don't have a nice enough car, what are people going to think of me? All these judgments of ourselves. So it's sensations, feelings, and judgments are in the gap between you and where you want to be. Okay, that's what I'm getting at here. So if we move this across to health, okay, so again, it's exactly the same. Okay, so you've got aches and pains, health problems, and you don't want them. Okay, you want to have maybe not perfect health, because perfect health is pretty much unattainable. Okay, you can live a life without pain and without disease, but how do you determine perfect health? Okay, there is no kind of, okay, if I tick this box, tick this box, tick this box, tick this box, yada 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 yada, there's perfect health. Okay, because there's always going to be at least one box that's unticked. Okay, or it's just not quite right. Perfect health is unattainable. Okay, so kind of forget that. But you can have very, very good health. Let's say 90% of perfect health. Okay, even though perfect doesn't actually exist. Okay, but very, very close to, you know, you've got good energy all day. You very rarely, if ever, have aches and pains. You feel, I mean, you just feel good and you feel happy, and you've got the body that you want. You know, it's the right body fat percentage for what you want, and you can run and you can lift weights and you can bend down to the floor and you can get up without groaning and all these kinds of things. Okay, so it's quite kind of, a lot of them are relatively simple things. Okay, again, the gap between where you are now, maybe you feel at 50 or 60% health instead of 90% health. The gap isn't necessarily eating different foods, exercising differently, or exercising at all, or more sunlight, or better sleep. Not necessarily. It could be involved in that. But it's the feelings and the judgment of yourself for not doing them. Because again, you guys in here, you kind of know better because you've watched the videos and you know, okay, well, being in the sunlight does help me more, but I'm not doing it, and I'm not wearing my blue blockers, and I'm not going to sleep on time, and then you feel guilty. So in here, in this gap here, there's guilt and there's shame and there's all these other feelings and emotions. So what are we not doing? We're not appreciating ourselves enough. Okay, and it's all these feelings that are preventing us from appreciating ourselves enough. Okay, this is where the gratitude appreciation line for me gets a little bit maybe blurry, because for the the vast majority of people in the world, and you guys in here included in that, okay, you can get up, you can get out of bed, you can breathe, you can walk, most of us can probably run, and maybe not very far, but we can run to some degree. We've got the availability of good food, whether or not we buy it and eat it and cook it in the right ways or prepare it in the right ways. Yes, no. We've got access to bad food. We've got access, and I'll put good and bad in inverted commas because that's not necessarily a truth. So how do we appreciate our body, our health, or money, or relationships, or whatever more? Okay, well, only you can really answer that. Okay, I've given you plenty of options. Okay, meditation, cold showers, exercising in certain ways, more sunlight, all these things that I've talked about. But you're the only one who can truly answer that question. Okay. The one thing I would say is, how do I appreciate myself more? Is give myself time to appreciate myself more. Now, if you're always doing things for other people, whether that's your work, whether that's your kids, whether that's your partners, friends, family, whoever, if you're always doing things for other people, you will very, very rarely have time to appreciate yourself. Okay. And what you choose to do in that time might have very little to do with losing weight, if that's what you want to do. If that's the kind of the desired outcome, it might have nothing to do with that. Okay, because it could literally be meditation. Okay, I'm going to appreciate myself, and I'm going to appreciate myself through meditation. Or I'm going to appreciate myself through knitting or through dog walking or whatever. Okay, and it's not necessarily about losing weight, but it's about appreciating myself for who I am right now and what I enjoy doing. Personally, I really love meditation. Okay, so how do I appreciate myself more? I meditate. Okay, the other thing I want personally is a bit more muscle. Okay, so I found a workout program that I've talked about it a little bit in either last week or the week before. Mike Mentzner, it's about putting on muscle really fast, and that's what he did to. I don't know if he won Mr. Universe or Mr. Olympia or whatever it was called in the 1980s or 70s. It was around about that time, and I'm following that because it's a way of putting on muscle really easily, and I don't need to spend hours and hours at the gym. Okay, because I actually don't like gyms. That's why I didn't really like being a personal trainer, because I had to spend most of my time in a gym, and I didn't want to be there. So this Mike Mentzner style of working out is like, I can cope with being in a gym for 45 minutes twice a week. Cool. That's fine. I'm working out hard. I'm in, I'm out. Okay. I don't talk to anyone. I don't do anything else. I'll warm up, I'll lift weights, I'll cool down, I'm gone. That's it. There's very little rest in between sets. It's just bam, 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 bam. Okay. Next one, bam, 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 bam. Next one, bam, 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 bam. Done. And I love it. Okay. Because it's so simple, so quick. And I don't need to do any crazy diets to go along with it. I just need to make sure I eat enough. I'm just going to pause for a minute because I've got a curry on the stove. Yeah, just getting dinner ready. Just getting dinner ready early in the day, and I forgot I left a timer on. So this is up to you to decide. It's like, okay, so you got to look at your goals. Okay, what is it I want? Okay, health, money, freedom, whatever. Okay, and think about how much debt you are in towards that. Okay, the bigger the gap. Okay, if you think you're at a 1 out of 10, you want 10 out of 10. Okay, and 10 out of 10, if we talk about money, £5 grand a month. Okay, that's 10 out of 10, or £8 grand a month, or 10 grand a month, or whatever. Okay, it's some businesses, and you see it all over Facebook, and you're in these coaching groups and whatever. They go, oh yeah, 10 grand a month. Yeah, I want this, I want that. 20 grand a month. You feel amazing when you get your first 50 grand a month. It's like, oh fuck, shut up, mate. Okay, 3 will be fine. So you talk about all these things, and it's like, okay, where am I at right now? Okay, you're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and that's kind of how much debt you're in. Okay, so let's talk about health. Okay, so let's say that perfect, in inverted commas, health is here. Okay, I am at 50%. Okay, so I'm five out of 10 compared to perfect health. Okay, so I want to feel my emotions between where I'm at right now and where I want to be. And you don't necessarily need to, as I said, if I'm about health here, it doesn't necessarily need to be diet or exercise or something health related that's in that gap, because it's fear or it's anger or it's frustration. And that's the thing that's in the gap. That's the thing that's preventing you from taking the actions that will take you to the next level. So we can appreciate that gap now and go, okay, now I've identified that there's this gap between where I am, where I want to be. And in the gap is actually, it's not the money, it's not the diet, it's not the exercise, it's not the whatever. Okay, it's the appreciation. Okay, I haven't appreciated my own feelings of anger, fear, frustration, sadness, guilt, grief, blah 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 blah. Okay, all of those ones. Okay, and you don't have to use the words from levels of consciousness. You have your own. Okay, you can call them whatever you want. And I haven't been with those feelings, and it's those feelings that are preventing me from taking the action, from doing the thing, or stopping doing the thing that is getting me to my goals. And that for me is what appreciation is. Okay, so I want to appreciate the things that are stopping me, as well as kind of going for the goal as well, to some degree. Okay, so yeah, you don't necessarily need to do what you think you need to do to get the result that you desire. Okay, so if I wanted, let's talk about my business again, or me personally. I don't necessarily need to do loads of extra marketing or market myself in a different way to sell more books, to sell more courses, to sell more group memberships, to sell more one-to-ones. Okay, it's working on the sensations and the emotions in my body that maybe make my social media actions work not as well as they could. Because the content, I believe, it is fine and dandy. I'm doing the things that kind of you know, if you do this, that, and the other, and write these things in this way, and blah 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 blah, you're going to get more views, you're going to get more clicks, and whatever. But is it my perception of social media that prevents that from happening? It's like my thoughts and beliefs on social media is like it's wasting people's time a lot of the time. People are just scrolling anyway. People don't want to listen to what I want to say, and then it's all these fears and these emotions, and like I'm weird, and it's like I don't want to be seen because I'm weird and I'm not normal, and what I do is not normal, and all this kind of internal chatter that I generally don't really listen to, but it's there. Okay, so it's the internal belief system, it's the internal chit chat that we are not appreciating, that we're switching off from and ignoring. Okay, because the best way to not appreciate something or someone is to ignore them. Okay, the best way to treat someone that you don't like is ignore them entirely. Don't even acknowledge their existence. And we don't really want to do that because it's not kind. Okay, but if that's really what you want to do, ignore it. Okay, so if you want to stay stuck, ignore your feelings, ignore your emotions. and pay them no heed at all. Okay, ignore your pain. Your pain is just your body's way of giving you, like, pay attention to this. So all it's saying, disease. Okay, pay attention to your body. Okay, we can also think of, if this would be really easy to do with the kind of weight loss. Okay, so most charts for weight loss, you start up here and you start working down. I'd say actually you want to start down here and you start working up. Okay, because everyone likes upward progress. People don't want downward progress. Okay, I'd say this is my debt. Okay, I'm 20 pounds of body weight in debt, whatever it is for you. What's in the gap? What feelings and emotions? Right? Sadness, guilt, blaming myself, judging myself, fear of what I've got to do, fear of the diets I've got to go on, fear of counting calories, fear, emotional eating, whatever. Okay, this is emotional eating. Okay, it's the emotional eating that took you down. Okay, it's people generally eat because they're emotional or they're bored. Okay, it's not necessarily because they're hungry. It might be because they're nutrition deficient. Okay, nutrition deficient. It's another reason why I'm eating loads of meat now, because nutrition in meat is way higher and way more bioavailable than nutrition in fruits and vegetables. Okay, so I'm eating very limited amounts of vegetables and even fewer carbohydrates, kind of your white carbs, your rices, pastas, breads, etc. Way less than what I was, and I wasn't even eating that many before. So now I'm only eating them at dinner time, and I'm having like 5-year-old portions worth of rice rather than big, I don't know, big scoops of rice and pasta. Okay, I'm having like teeny tiny amounts in comparison to where I was. So, but my meat and veg side of the plate or bowl, it's not quite doubled, but it's probably 1.5 what it was. So I've got rid of minimized the carbs, elevated the protein, fat, and veggie. I mean, I know veggie is carbs, right? But I've elevated that, and I feel good. I don't really feel hungry. I ate lunch today because I felt a little bit hungry, and I thought, you know what, I'm probably not going to make it through till 2:30. I don't want to be distracted while I'm teaching through hunger, although I probably could have got through it with a bit of extra water. So ask yourself a question, and again, you can do this about anything. Okay, about anything. How can I show appreciation to myself, my health? How can I show appreciation to money? How can I show appreciation to my house, to my wardrobe, to my bed, to my kids, to my partners or partner? Okay, I don't know if there's any polyamorous people in here, but maybe there is. How can I show more appreciation to my body? How can my body show more appreciation to me? Okay, you can kind of reverse that as well. And again, you don't necessarily need to know an answer of, okay, I need to do this. You might, okay, it might be, I need to go through that paperwork and I just need to get it done. And that shows appreciation to paperwork. Okay. And that therefore shows more appreciation to myself. Do I need to tidy up a room? Do I need to clean the sides down every night in the kitchen? Do I need to make sure the washing up is done? Will my house appreciate the energy of me tidying up more frequently? Okay, or when I tidy up, I'll make sure I get it all the way done rather than 80% done. Okay, because I've got clothes, folded up clothes in the kids' bedroom, and I can hear them. They say, "Put me away." Okay, you haven't put me away for 3 days. Put me away. Okay, so what is it? It could be again about your work. What is it about my job that I am not appreciating? Okay, how can I show appreciation for my job more? Okay, I mean, I don't necessarily want people to have traditional jobs in 9 to 5s. I I think that sucks our soul away, unless you absolutely love what you do. For the vast majority of people, they don't. So it's like, well, okay, you are putting yourself in debt if you're doing a job that you don't like. Okay, so that's just, I'm going into debt every day. I'm turning up to a job that I don't like. And you're just going further and further into debt, and that's just going to show up in health problems, in emotional issues, anger, frustration, all these kinds of things. Okay, mental health problems. Okay, turning up to a job you don't like. It's a slow burn way to disaster. So I don't necessarily like people to have jobs unless they absolutely, they genuinely enjoy it. Okay, and they go to work with a smile on their face, and they have a smile on their face most of the day. They've got good energy throughout the day, and they come home with a smile on their face. Okay, cool. You like your job. Okay, if you're grumpy, pissed off, angry, you don't want to get up out of bed in the morning. You can't wait to get in your car and go home, and then when you get home, you're just shouting at the kids, and you're just pissed off and angry, and all you want to do is eat and go to bed, or eat and stare at the TV, or scroll through your phone all evening, and not talk to your partner and not talk to your kids, and just be left alone. That's a job you don't like, and that is putting you in a debt. Okay, are we listening to what so just a quick question, are we listening to what our instinct says when we ask something for appreciation? Yes. Yeah, you're asking your intuition, really. You just slow down, take a few breaths first. Okay, so it's like, you're just setting yourself up for meditation, really. Okay, but this is it's much shorter. Okay, so you ask yourself the question, you're trying to listen for an answer. Okay, the answer might be do nothing. Okay, and what I take that to mean is just take some time and meditate. Okay, take some time and sit. Okay, sit, do nothing. Okay, and when your intuition speaks to you, it doesn't speak to you in words. Okay, so if you're hearing, you're hearing the words from your intuition, that's your ego telling you what you think you should be doing. It's like, okay, how could I appreciate myself more? So it's like, go to the gym, fatty. All right, that's your ego saying what that kind of like the logical thing you think you should be doing. Okay, so your intuition, this takes practice, and I'm still practicing this. So when I ask these questions, I often get nothing. So I just sit there and wait, and I wait and I wait and I wait. And if nothing comes, nothing comes. And if I feel like I'm done with waiting, then I'll get up and do something, because that's what we do. But what I should probably do is sit and wait some more. But we have obligations in our life. Again, obligations are on this appreciation thing. Okay, so obligations. Okay, a job you don't like is an obligation. Okay. Looking after your kids, obligation. Going to the shops to buy food for everyone, it's an obligation. Okay, unless you feel intuitively called to take an action, it's an obligation, and they are putting you in debt. Okay? They are moving you away from your desires. So it seems selfish, but you've always, as much as you possibly can, do things that you love doing, or ask your intuition, okay, do I want to do this? Okay, you don't logic it out. You don't go pros and cons. Oh, I've got 5 minutes. Okay, yes, of course I can help you, even though I actually want to be doing something else for 5 minutes, because it's putting you in debt. Okay, and it could be weight debt, it could be health debt, like it could be literally money, because if you're not happy and you're not appreciating your money making activities, what are the chances of you getting more of money in that case? Okay, they diminish. Okay, so it's not really complicated. there's feelings in the way between where you are now and where you want to be. Sit and feel those feelings. Okay. And when you focus on the feelings, they go from big to small. Okay. And if we come back to here, okay, if I make failure feel smaller, it's going to automatically start bringing me up. If I make fear feel smaller because I've paid attention to it, I've appreciated fear by spending time with it, I'm taking myself out of debt. If I spend time with anger or any other kind of feelings and emotions and sensations, okay, so remember, it's not really emotions. We don't really want to label them per se. Okay, if I spend time with those sensations of this gap between where I am and where I think I want to be, okay, I'm appreciating this gap. Therefore, the gap gets smaller and it brings me up. Okay, so if I come back to my original diagram of, okay, instead of investing, 50 quid a month forever and ever and ever and ever until I decide to take all the money out of that pot, I'm gradually increasing my appreciation by spending time with the emotions. Okay, if I spend no time with the emotions, things might improve, but very, very gradually, and it takes a lot of energy, strategy, and planning. Okay, if I spend some time with the emotions, I'm putting more and more money into the pot, and it's going into a higher interest bank account, okay, or a higher interest investment account. That's what we're doing. Okay. For me, that tends to be how I'm meditating at the moment. Okay. What feelings, I'm just asking my body, okay, what feelings or emotions do I need to spend some time with, or do I need to appreciate more? And I very, very rarely get like it's a fear kind of thing anymore. I just get sensations in the body. And I'm not trying to go, okay, I feel like that's in my lungs. Okay, lungs means to do with fear, because that's what I've understood from various things I've learned. Okay, whether it be just general fear and anxiety, or the fear of death, or whatever it is. Okay, or okay, I feel that in my pancreas, and my pancreas is more to do with anxiety. Or I feel that with my liver, and that the liver is more to do with a starvation conflict. Or I feel that in my the base of my neck, in my throat. Okay, and that's to do with my fifth chakra, and it's to do with feeling powerless. I don't necessarily want to do that. I just want to go, okay, there's feelings. Because the more labels and judgments, so a label is just a judgment. The more labels and judgments I put on that, the more concrete that becomes, and the harder it is for me to experience that emotion. Okay, well, that's wrong, that sensation. So I'm trying to kind of not label everything, despite everything I've learned, and go, okay, I just want to experience that and show appreciation and give some time to that sensation. And the sensation will then release energy for me to be able to go and do something usually different to what I'm normally doing. Okay, so it's very, very easy to go through life going, okay, I'm going to do, we're very habitual. And we will just do the same thing over and over and over again, because doing the same thing over and over and over again is very easy. Okay? Even if it's the wrong thing, it's the wrong thing, like eating cake every day, or eating crisps every day, or not exercising. Okay? It's very, very easy just to do the same thing. And where am I going with that? Yes, it takes more energy to change. That energy lives within those sensations. So if you experience those sensations and allow them to kind of run their course by appreciating them, you're then freeing up energy to do something different. Okay, Einstein, I think it was Einstein, said insanity is repeating the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. Okay, which is essentially what we do. Okay, I've done that so many times with, again, like internet marketing, social media advertising. Okay, essentially I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting this number to go up. Okay, the in to go increase. It's doing the same thing. And because I haven't allowed myself to feel these. Right? So cool. If you have any questions on that, I'm sure my knowledge and experience on this will increase over time. So that might not be the full story, but that's how I understand it at the moment. So any insights that you have, always happy to hear them. And if you feel like there's any questions or any gaps in that, please let me know, and I will attempt to fill them as best I can over the course of whenever it comes up and whenever I've kind of gathered that knowledge in. Yeah. Oh, yeah, one more thing. Yeah. Let me just gather that together. So yeah, kind of similar vein to this. Okay, so if I'm saying I'm here and I want to be here, okay, so I want £5,000 per month. Okay, if I put that in words, okay, and this is what I currently have, okay, which means I lack £3,000 per month. Okay, so whenever we desire something, what we're saying is I don't have or I lack whatever it is you desire, or the gap. Okay, I lack that. Okay, that's the problem with desires, is that you're admitting that you don't have it. The trouble with that is you're an unlimited being, okay, capable of experiencing and feeling having that. Okay, so you can, another way to maybe do it, this kind of the kind of more positive element of doing this. So I've kind of been describing the negative element of it, of feeling the kind of the uncomfortable feelings, which is the way I prefer. You can go the other way and feel what it would feel like to have perfect health, to have £5,000 a month in this case, to experience the feelings of having that relationship the way you kind of want it to be. Okay, which I do like that method. I just prefer the letting go of the negative rather than purely focusing on the positive. Okay, because you can't have one without the other. Okay, there's always two sides to the coin. I want this, therefore this is what I don't have. Okay, that's the other side of the coin. This is why we need to get away from right and wrong, good and bad, because if there is something good, therefore there is something bad. If there is something right, therefore there must be something wrong. There cannot be only right. There cannot be only good. It's impossible. Okay, and this is what is duality. There is no right and wrong. There is no good and bad. Ultimately, okay. So where you are right now, it's a Tony Robbins quote I quite like, is you always have what you need. You always have what you need. Okay? So wherever you are right now is the perfect place, the perfect experience, the perfect set of circumstances is right now. Okay? It's only our perception that makes it wrong. I should be earning more money. I should be healthier. I should feel better. I should have a better relationship with my son, daughter, wife, husband, mum, dad, aunts, uncles, friends, whoever. Okay. I should be more enlightened. I should be living in a state of love all the time. Okay, everything is good. Okay, if it was the right thing, you'd already be there. Okay, but what is happening right now must be the right thing, because otherwise it would be something else. You would be living a different life with different sets of circumstances and different sets of what you would perceive as problems. Okay, but there are no problems. Okay, because what you have right now is exactly the right thing for you. It's perfect. Everything right now is perfect. I just want to move away from the word right. Okay, it's perfect for you right now. Okay? Another Tony Robbins phrase, everything is happening for you. Okay, it's kind of the same kind of message. Everything is happening for you. So all of the perceived bad and the perceived good, they are happening for you to experience. Okay, for you to have feelings and emotions and sensations about. Okay? But we don't give them the time of day because we're not appreciating the fact that this is happening for me. It's happening for you. Okay, so the bad relationship, the good relationship, the lack of financial security, or the unexpected windfall. Okay, everything is happening for you, and it's a phrase I kind of heard many years ago, and I suppose I guess I've got a new understanding of it now. It's not one that's necessarily easy to take because it means that everything in your life is happening exactly how it should be. Right. Okay. So as I said before, before I went off again, that's it for appreciation for now. I may revisit in the not too distant future. We'll see as things progress. Cheerio. I'll see you again soon.